The old house creaked as siblings, separated by oceans and years, stood in the attic where childhood memories lingered like dust. Faded photographs whispered stories of a family once whole. Their hands trembled as they brushed off a wooden box, its surface carved with their parents' names. The air was thick with unspoken questions about the love that somehow survived distance, but not time. The box resisted at first, its lock stiff with age, but it yielded to their persistence. Inside, stacks of yellowed letters tied with a faded ribbon awaited. The siblings exchanged glances. How could these papers hold the key to their parents' hearts? The first envelope, postmarked decades ago, bore their father's hurried handwriting. "To my love," it began, and suddenly the past didn't feel so distant anymore. The father's words spilled across the page, raw, longing, alive. "Every sunset here reminds me of your smile," he wrote from a foreign land. The siblings sat in silence, their breaths shallow. How had they not known this passion? Their parents, whom they remembered as quiet and resigned, had once loved with a fire that oceans couldn't extinguish. The letter ended with a promise: "I will write every week, no matter what." The memory unfolded like a scene from an old film. Their young father, clutching a suitcase, their mother's tears blending with the rain on the train platform. He was leaving to give them a better life, but the cost was written in her trembling lips. The train whistle drowned her whispered, "I'll wait." The siblings now understood. Their father's absence wasn't abandonment. It was sacrifice. Their hands had clung together that day, a golden locket pressed between their palms, a token to keep her close. "Letters will be our bridge," he'd vowed, and so they were. For years, every envelope carried pieces of their souls across continents. The siblings traced the words, feeling the weight of a promise kept in ink, if not in presence. Love, they realized, could thrive in the space between the lines. The mother's letters revealed a different struggle. Nights spent writing by lamplight after putting the children to bed. Dreams of her own were folded into laundry and packed lunches. "I miss you," she confessed, "but the children have your eyes." The siblings swallowed hard. Her love was a quiet river, flowing steadily beneath their childhood, unseen but sustaining them all. Then, the heartbreak. A returned envelope, stamped "Return to Sender." The father had moved, and the letter, filled with news of a possible reunion, never reached him. The siblings imagined their mother's hands smoothing the crumpled paper, hope dissolving like ink in rain. That single missed connection had widened the silence between their parents into a chasm. The last letter was the hardest to read. Their father's words, never sent, confessed his guilt. "I failed you." Ink blots stained the page where his tears had fallen. The siblings saw their own regrets mirrored in his pain, words left unsaid, time lost. Love hadn't faded. It had been buried under years of silence and missed chances. The siblings sat amidst the letters, the weight of the past heavy between them. Then, a decision. They would not repeat the silence. One reached for modern stationery, the other for a pen. "Dear sister," the first line began. Words, they now knew, could heal as well as hurt. The antique box would remain open, not as a relic, but as a reminder. At sunset, they stood where their parents once dreamed together, the shore where the sea met the sky. As they scattered the ashes, one sibling read aloud from their father's final letter. "Love is not measured by the years, but by the words we dare to write." The waves carried the ink-stained pages away, but the words, like the love, remained. The ocean between them was gone at last.